What's up, you guys? We're back with some more college football week 8 on Beat the Odds college football edition on Odds Checker. Guys, how are we? How was our last week?
I'm doing great. Jason, feeling good?
Feeling good. We're just a slight bit more over 500 than we were before. Managed to hit the pick of the week last week thanks to your Pitt Panthers. So let's keep it going.
Yeah, you inspired me there. I'll get to that later. I was 3-4 last week. Not what we want. I am down to 27-20 against the spread on the season. That's good, but I was 6-1. I think 3 weeks ago, or two game weekends ago, and then had just kind of a hovering performance around 500 for the previous 2 weeks. So we do what we can. We do our best. I think that we have regressed to the mean a little bit, and that means it's time to regress back to not the mean. It's time to go on another heater. I think that's the way math works.
Yes.
Great. Well, let's get into it for this week's picks. And then, as always, we will do our pick of the week at the end of this video. Let's get into it, guys.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to start with a couple of picks here, taking underdogs that my better judgment is telling me I absolutely should not tell anyone to wager money on, but here we are. Middle Tennessee is playing UConn this week in Connecticut. I'm taking UConn plus 15 in this game. Look, don't look now, folks. Really, don't look now. I'm not advising you to look. But UConn has played better football the last couple of weeks. They beat Yale, which is an FCS team, but a decent, pretty good FCS team at home last weekend. They contended against an SEC team a couple weeks ago. You don't get to ask which SEC team it was. Just know that it was an SEC team. Vanderbilt is technically in the SEC. And they've just looked a little bit more competent of late. They almost beat Wyoming. I think that Middle Tennessee is terrible, and Middle Tennessee laying more than 2 touchdowns against any team in FBS while playing on the road it just feels right to me. It just feels right to me. I understand that if my parents were watching this and found out that I was telling people to bet on UConn, they wouldn't be too happy. They would think that was reckless, but here we are, and I think UConn can cover plus 15 in this game. Also, San Jose State against UNLV. UNLV is plus 5 in this game, and I am riding with the Rebels. They have yet to win a game under Marcus Arroyo. He's been their coach the last 2 seasons. He's 0-12. I actually think this could be the week, but I especially think it could be a week for a cover for them at plus 5. San Jose State won the Mountain West last year, but is really, really grim this season, especially on offense. And I think that in Vegas, the time is right for UNLV to lose by, something less than a touchdown and perhaps cover this plus 5 spread.
Alex, with 2 picks there that demonstrate the adage that all bets cash equally. The game doesn't have to be on ABC to count as a bet. Let me go to possibly the FBS conference that most typifies that adage. Let's go to the MAC. Western Michigan against Toledo. Toledo plus 3 at home. WMU is 5-2 with a win on the scoreboard against Pitt. Sure, Toledo is 3-4, but just a few coin flips away from those records being opposite, I think. But 3 of Toledo's losses are by a field goal or less, including Notre Dame. I think these teams grade out basically equally, and I think Toledo might have the run defense to give WMU a little bit of a problem. If you're telling me I get points taking Toledo at home, sure, let's do it.
Fair enough. I think Toledo's got issues, but I respect that you're going with them. For me, Memphis and UCF in the American this week. I'm on Memphis plus 3 at a minus 118 juice. It's usually 3.5, I think, for UCF in this game. 2.5 for UCF. I wanted the extra half point to get it to a field goal underdog for Memphis. I think that UCF is just kind of in a tweener year. They have 75 injuries right now, including Dylan Gabriel, their quarterback. Memphis has been very, very iffy this year themselves, but I think that getting an entire field goal against a team that really has not been itself, that does not feel like it has the fun, weird qualities of a usual Gus Malzahn team, yeah, I'll take those points, and I'll ride with Memphis to cover this game haphazardly.
It's time to have some fun. Let's talk about Pitt, a team it's important to talk about Pitt every single week. Pitt is Alex, I don't know if you know this, the country's best team against Vegas so far this year, covering by 12.8 points per game.
Yep.
Clemson, meanwhile, is arguably the worst in the country against Vegas. They have very nearly the opposite number. Rice is worse, but Rice has covered once. So Clemson has a case to be the most Vegas challenged team so far this year. Give me Pitt -3 at home. I believe Pitt is the best team in the ACC. So this is simply putting money where my mouth is. Pitt has one of the country's steadiest passing games, and Clemson's only been good against that, not awesome. And Pitt has fared well against at least decent passing defenses like Tennessee and Virginia Tech. So, if I keep saying Pitt's going to win the ACC, then I kind of have to take this one.
And then it'll happen. You'll speak it into existence. Appreciate that. I agree with you. I'm going to get to Pitt later. They're going to factor into my pick of the week this week as a little spoiler. I've decided to let myself love, let myself believe. I'm from Pittsburgh, so obviously I would like to see that happen. Wake Forest, which has zero losses this year. I have them -3.5 playing Army. All due respect to the troops, but I think they're the worst team in this game. And I think that Wake has the run defense under Dave Clawson to be better than most at stopping the triple. Probably not quite as efficient as Army was last weekend, but I think that Wake scores some points in this game. Army's defense is not anything even close to special. And I think that the magic carpet ride continues for the Deacs. I think they can win this game by something on the order of a touchdown and feel comfortable betting against Army, which is not something that I usually do.
I will bet on, let's call them last year's Wake Forest. All right. I'm going to take Iowa State -6 against the undefeated Oklahoma State Cowboys. Similar mindset to WMU Toledo, where I think the records could very easily be flip-flopped. And I think both teams have pretty good defenses, but Iowa State has had the much better offense, particularly through the air. Iowa State at home -6 against an undefeated team. That is a bizarre sentence. And how can you not take part in something that sounds that strange?
It is definitely strange. I'm taking Oklahoma State +7. So I think we both have a better side of the number in this game because of line movements. I think Oklahoma State's defense is just like going to cause real problems for Brock Purdy and Breece Hall and all of their friends on Iowa State's offense. Iowa State is certainly solid enough to win this game comfortably if everything clicks, but the Oak State defense has really thrived against offenses that I think are better than Iowa State's. They made Gary Bohannon and Baylor look pretty lousy a couple weeks ago in Stillwater, and they gave Texas just a brutal time in Austin the other day. 7's a lot to cover for Iowa State, given the shape that their offense has been in throughout this season. And sure, putting faith in Mike Gundy once it's the second half of the season, what could possibly go wrong for me other than, everything?
That's the spirit. Give me all aboard the Meet Express. Give me UTSA -6 against Louisiana Tech. UTSA comes in as an average FBS team with a top 25 AP ranking, which usually that's a little bit of a red flag. You don't want to bet on an overly hyped team, but I'd be comfortable taking this at a full touchdown, maybe a little bit more. La Tech has been really bad. They have a few deceptively close losses, I think. I think if you look at just the scores, you think, they're pretty close to being a 500 type team, but no, La Tech is really bad. And if we believe UTSA is anything near a true top 25 team, you got to take the -6 here.
I'm with you.
All right. Are we ready to get in the picks of the week?
I think I'm ready. I think I'm excited. Jason's already been here, but I just want to go on the record. I believe in Pitt this weekend. I think they're going to beat Clemson. I think it's Pitt's biggest game in football in a long time because Clemson having this kind of down year has presented an opportunity, along with North Carolina and Miami, not really, and Virginia Tech certainly not doing much in the coastal side of the ACC. I think Pitt's going to cover -3 in this game. It's moved at a lot of places like 3.5, but as of Monday when we record this, you can still find them at -3. I just don't know where the points come from for Clemson. That's the thing. I mean, Pitt gets a lot of credit this year for its offense, which has been one of the best in the country, kind of right up there with Coastal Carolina and of late Oklahoma. But I don't see where Clemson's scoring. This is just not, and I don't get it either because you would have thought that with DJ Uiagalelei entering the season and Justin Ross at receiver and the stable of skill position talent that they had, even with Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Amari Rodgers et al. Gone, that things would be better than this, and they're not. And we've seen 6 or 7 Clemson games now. This is who they are. I think Pitt's going to sack them a bunch of times in this game, and I don't think they can score. So riding with the Panthers. Let's do it. I'm ready to get hurt.
I have a two-parter here. First, this is a little bit of a tip-off. Give me Cincinnati Navy, the under 51.5. And my pick of the week is Navy plus 28 in that game. Here it is that we love the trend, and this is the best example of it in several years since 1995. The service academies, Air Force, Army, Navy, are a combined 41, 11, and 1 against the spread as underdogs of more than 3 touchdowns, 21.5 points or more. That is 78.8%. And I don't know of any gambling trend that is stronger against the spread than that. The bigger the spread, the stronger the trend. Navy is really bad this year, but we are not trying to win. We're trying to get it within like 37-10 or so. And Navy is just going to they're going to try and bleed clock. That's all we want. Just keep the clock ticking. We love it. Cincinnati doesn't really play in any particular hurry on offense and doesn't go crazy throwing the ball. There is the question of they have the playoff committee to impress, but does anyone really want to beat up on the troops? I don't. Is that really how we want to spend?
I mean, there are countries,
October Saturday.
There are entire countries that do want to beat up on our troops, Jason.
That's very true. Very true. And worth noting, Cincinnati hasn't played a flex bone offense in more than a year. So this is it's just an annoying problem to have and just to get through as quickly as possible. And it's to Cincinnati's benefit to just stay healthy and get through the game and get it over with. And that's all I want to.
All right.
Katelyn?
Well, I am looking at the LSU Ole Miss game, and Ole Miss, their offense, they are capable of a lot, and I like their offense. Their defense, though, on the other hand, not as confident with their defense. But, playing LSU with, the news coming out about Coach O, not coming back next year, I think that's going to maybe affect the dynamics of the team. I mean, LSU isn't – they're looking okay, obviously not great. Ole Miss minus 10.5.
Respect. Hope there's no mustard on the field this week.
Well, I think that's all for today, and we will catch you guys next week with Week 9 picks and our picks of the week. That is Beat the Odds College Football Edition on Odds Checker.